All right, your big leadership and HRM exam is coming up. Feeling the heat? Totally normal. But don't worry, that's what we're here for. We're going to cut right through all the fluff and focus only on the stuff you absolutely need to know to walk in there and ace it. Let's get you ready.
Okay, in the next few minutes, we're going to break down the key concepts. And I'm talking about the stuff that is, almost guaranteed to pop up on that exam paper. We're skipping the noise and just hitting the high-yield information you need. Sound good? Let's dive in. So, here's our plan. Pretty straightforward. We'll start by nailing down the difference between a leader and a manager. Then we'll get into what makes teams actually smart. From there, we'll zoom out to the whole organization, and we'll wrap it all up with a quick and dirty cheat sheet for your final review. Simple. All right, part 1, leader versus manager. Look, if there's one thing I can almost guarantee you'll see on this exam, it's this. You have to know the distinction inside and out. It is absolutely fundamental. Okay, so let's lock in the definition of leadership first. When you see leadership on the exam, I want you to think of one word: change. That's the key. Leadership is about producing change and movement. It's about setting a new direction, getting everyone on the same page, and motivating them to get there. Now, management, this is the other side of the coin. If leadership is about change, management is about order. It's about consistency. Think of it this way. Management keeps the trains running on time. It's all about planning, building systems, and making sure everything works just as it should. And this right here is a perfect breakdown for you. Leaders are kind of like architects. They shape the vision, they create, they think long-term, and they're always asking what and why. Managers, they're more like the engineers. They implement, they administer, and they ask how and when. This comparison table is pure gold for an exam question. Seriously, take a mental snapshot of this. This quote here just drives the point home. Management handles the complexity of today. Leadership deals with the change needed for tomorrow. Super simple way to remember it, okay? Let's keep going. Okay, we've talked about individuals. Now let's level up and talk about teams. This is a really interesting area. What actually makes a team successful? It's not as simple as you might think. So here's a question for you, and it's a classic exam trap. What's the single best predictor of a team's performance? The obvious answer, the one that everyone jumps to, is just to stack the team with a bunch of geniuses, right? Well, that's the trap. The real answer is something called collective intelligence, which you'll sometimes see called the C factor. You can literally think of it as the team's IQ. Not the average IQ of the people on it, but the intelligence of the group as a unit. This is a really important concept, so make sure you've got this one down. And here is the crucial takeaway for your exam. Collective intelligence is not strongly correlated with the individual IQ of the members. What is it correlated with? Well, things like the average social sensitivity of the team, basically how good people are at reading social cues, also how equally people talk, making sure no single person dominates the conversation. It's about social dynamics, not just raw brain power. That's the key. Okay, so we've gone from the individual leader to the team. Now, let's zoom out one more level to the entire organization. We need to talk about how people fit into the bigger picture, the company's culture and its structure. This model, the person-environment-fit model, is a great way to visualize this. See, fit isn't just one thing. It's not just about can you do the tasks of the job. It's about how you fit with your team, how you fit with your direct supervisor, and how you fit with the overall organization. It's a multi-layered thing. So for the exam, you'll want to know these different dimensions. You've got person-organization fit. That's about your values aligning with the company's culture. Then there's person-group fit, which is all about your chemistry with your immediate colleagues. And finally, person-supervisor fit, which is that crucial relationship with your boss. All of these play a huge role in performance and, frankly, your happiness at work. Okay, stop and focus on this one. The competing values framework. This is a biggie. I would be shocked if this wasn't on the exam. This table is your key. The easiest way to remember it is to think of them as 4 different company personalities. You've got the clan culture, which is like a big family, all about collaboration. Then adhocracy. Think of a fast-moving startup, all about innovation and being first. Market is your competitive, results-driven culture. And finally, hierarchy, your classic structured bureaucracy that's all about control and doing things by the book. You need to know these 4. All right, final section. This is your exam cheat sheet. We've covered a lot. from individuals to teams to the whole organization. Now we're going to boil it all down to the absolute must-know, non-negotiable points. This is your final cram session. First thing on the cheat sheet, the big one, leader versus manager. If you forget everything else, remember this. Leaders produce change. Managers produce order. That's it. Change versus order. Lock that in. Next, for teams, don't fall for the trap. The best predictor of team performance is collective intelligence. And what drives that? Social sensitivity and equal conversation. It is not about having the highest average IQ. Got it? And finally, those 4 culture types from the competing values framework. Just remember the main verb for each. Clan is all about collaboration, adhocracy is about creating, market is about competing, and hierarchy is about controlling. Collaborate, create, compete, control. Easy. And that's pretty much everything you need. So here's one last thing to think about as you walk into that exam room. A question that ties it all together. Which leadership style do you think fits best with each of those 4 cultures? It makes sense, right? A highly collaborative leader would probably thrive in a clan culture. But what about an adhocracy? You see how it all connects? You've got this. Now go get 'em. Good luck.